I act differently around people who aren't my race. 3, 2, 1.
I think the most important thing is just to authentically be yourself, and I don't think being around people who don't look like you should be a reason for you to act any different.
Yeah, for me, I guess it's like within the confines of like the workforce.
I was thinking code switching.
Because if you show up to a meeting talking like this, they're like, uneducated, got it. They'll use the slang to sell the products and to tweet and to get the clicks and stuff. But like as soon as a worker's there who's authentically from the area and talking like people from the area, it's like, ooh, we don't like that. You know, because it's always like, well, be yourself until you yourself. And then it's like, ooh, I don't like yourself. Unfortunately, in a lot of the areas of work, it's like you almost have to like lie to these people to be like, I'm a robot. I'll like, you know, I love your company. Yeah. You know, it's sick. It's sick.
For me, I have to gauge the situation. Take, for example, a workspace or a business event, right? I'm going to act differently in those environments than if I was back home chilling and, you know, with the homies. It's just a really different situation. So in short, it's really about the environment. To me, it has nothing to do with ethnicity. I'm acting who I am regardless. But again, I will switch it up depending on the setting, not because of the race of the individual.
White people also experience race-based prejudice.
Since you guys probably don't know, I have lived overseas. I've lived in Asian countries. In Japan, there are certain restaurants and stuff like that that you could walk into. You can see people dining in the restaurant, and they're going to tell you they're closed just because you're white or you're American. So the idea that white people can't really experience racism kind of contradicts the very definition of the word, because the definition of racism is prejudice based on one's skin color. White people do experience it, but to a different degree.
So I'm going to answer this by saying absolutely. Bias affects everyone regardless of their race. So that means, yes, white people too. Y'all know we talk about mayonnaise, we talk about no seasoning, we talk about no raisins in the potato salad. On a serious note, I believe things like work quotas and affirmative action can definitely impact a white person. And that just kind of goes to show you how discrimination can have a negative impact in all kinds of situations. Real shit though, I'd really like to get to a place where we can all agree that someone facing judgment because of their skin color, regardless of their background, is unacceptable.
Being sexually unattracted to a race is racist.
I think where the line gets drawn is when if a white male is sitting there swiping and he's just like, I don't like black girls, they're all ugly. They have too big of lips. I think that's where the line gets drawn. But you can't really help what you're attracted to. Like my fiance is Mexican, and it's like I like him for who he is, not how he looks.
All right, on this question here, I truly have to respectfully disagree that not being attracted to another race is inherently racist. Personal preferences in romantic or sexual relations, they can vary from person to person. Factors like cultural influences and individual experiences, personal preferences, those all play a role in shaping attraction. All right, the short of it is this. Having preferences doesn't mean that someone is engaging in discriminatory behavior. I believe people are entitled to their own preferences without having the need to be labeled as a racist.
I have been denied access because of my race.
Now, to answer this question, have I been called a before? Sure, yeah, but that wasn't the question. The question is, have I been denied access because of my race? And the short answer is no. I cannot think of any specific time where I've actually been discriminated against or denied access because of my race. So I guess my short answer is no. That's never happened to me. I'm not denying that it hasn't happened to other people, but is it happening on a scale that's holding people that look like me back from accomplishing anything? The short answer again there would be no.
I can go anywhere. I can sit down anywhere, and I am not going to be denied because of how I look. And I would be ignorant to not admit that.
And I'm going to counter that with we are justifiably not let into spaces. And our whiteness takes away access to things like powwows. And there's an island in Hawaii that's only for natives or for like safe spaces for Black communities or whatever else. We are justifiably denied access because of our skin.
Period. We love the nuance.
The thing about Hawaii, though,
yeah,
Hawaii is stolen land. I believe that they have every right to be able to say only we're allowed to go here because that
Justifiably.
was theirs. It was literally stolen land that was stolen by white people.
Yes. No, but that's why
Yeah.
it's justifiably, it's still denied access.
Yeah.
But it is justifiable. 100%. Don't
Yeah,
let me
it's
in.
denied access, but it's justifiable. But it's like in my own day-to-day life, I could go anywhere. I can sit down anywhere. I can go read a book in a library. I can go to Starbucks. People don't fear me because of how I look. And so they don't feel the need to be like, you can't be here.
But like in your day-to-day life, are you being denied access? Like, are you trying to go to that island that they
No.
won't let you? Okay.
Then I think that's a really good question.
Like,
Has it happened? I guess. Because like,
would
are you
say
seeking
yeah.
those spaces then?
I'm not necessarily seeking them. If I am already aware that this is like, hey, this is for us, not for you. I'm not going to show up and be like, yeah, but like, I'm a cool white person. But there are spaces that we are not allowed. And I think that's okay.
No, it is okay. But if you're not actively seeking to be part of those circles, you're not being denied access to them.
I will agree with that.
Sure. And I can say that maybe those are not the best examples, but like, I think especially because my social circles are predominantly people of color, there are definitely things where they're like, where I've had them be like, this is not a conversation for you. And I'm like, okay. I have had those experiences. I'm okay with them. I want to be clear. Like, I think there should be spaces that aren't for me, and that is okay. But they've existed and they've been in my life.
I have just one really specific example. Otherwise, I feel like in general, I'm not denied access because of my race, just in my experience. But I had an ex whose stepfather was wildly racist, like Nazi memorabilia, like just insane individual.
Oh my God.
And I was never allowed over her house because of him. And the one time that I kind of snuck in, he was staring at me through the window. And I'll never forget that in my life, the way that man was staring at me through the window and then cursed out his kids for having me in the house. That man's now in prison for doing God knows what, but it's where he belongs.
I am proud of my race. 3, 2, 1.
I will go first, and I will stand 10 toes in.
I was just being ironic to
I
stand over
think-
there.
Okay, baby. I said, please no.
I was
I'm here. I
picture.
cried a little bit.
I'm
I
being
think
messy.
that, like, and I'll just keep it specific to my experience of what I know. As Black Americans, we're pretty much the top culture that gets replicated, referenced. People scoot in and scoot out because they want to seem cool and interesting and stuff. And I think that that's so kind of us to like kind of like be beaten down for so long and be kind of separated from our African roots, create names for ourselves, culture, language around our identities as Black Americans, and have that be a thing that's just reverberating across the globe. I think that's so cute. Can never be replicated, can never be understated, and I love that about it.
Okay, here we go with this question again. All right, honestly, we should all be proud of our race. I'm proud to be Black, and you know what? Shit, you should be proud to be white too. I don't believe in the sins of our father, because the truth of the matter is, if you dig deep enough, right, you go way back in history, all of our ancestors have done some flipped up shit. So yes, you should be proud to be white. You should be proud to be Black. You should be proud to be whatever your ethnicity is. Not because of the skin color in itself, but because of the family and culture that's behind it. And on another note, I'm an amateur in the Bible, but I will say this. If you believe that you were made in the image of your creator, why would you not be proud of that? Okay, crew, that's all I got for today. But before you go, make sure you check out the link in the description to the original video. It's done by a company or a channel called Jubilee. They got amazing content. All of the videos are well planned, well thought out, great production. I promise you, you need to go like and subscribe to their channel. Shout out to Jubilee for putting together some awesome. But before I go, there's one more thing. If you enjoyed this type of content and you want to see more like it, make sure that you actually like this video. Make sure that you actually comment on this video. Most importantly, make sure you share this video. It's the only way that I know that we can push this type of content out to other like-minded individuals. So until I see you on the next video, I am gone.